Hey y'all, welcome back to Blackmar Barbecue. It's lunchtime, beef prices are sky high, so today we're cooking a pork tomahawk steak. Here we have the star of our show, the pork tomahawk. This guy came with a little extra rib meat on it from the store, and I think it cost me about $9. Now, if you wanted to be fancy, you could French the bones, which is where you just cut off that meat and expose the bone. It's good for presentation, but let's face it, I'm going to eat that, so I left it on. Season the tomahawk simply and generously with kosher salt. I don't want to go on with any other seasonings because I don't want it to burn in the pan. Always get your edges, folks. This is a great opportunity to just roll the steak, mop up any of that extra seasoning. There, doesn't that look nice? Let's talk about this pan sauce, guys. I'm making this up as I go along, but we're going to start with some finely diced shallot. And when I say finely, just try to get them as small as you can because the smaller the particle, the more flavorful it's going to be. Next, we're going in with a couple mushrooms. We're going to throw these into the pan. They're going to sop up so much flavor. And if you don't like mushrooms, then leave them out. Or grow up. We're going to give this garlic a light crush and give it a little dice. I can't see shit. Sometimes you get produce that isn't quite perfect. You have to do some exploring and experimenting to see what's usable. We'll use this one. Oops. There, it's still good. Give that green onion a thin slice. I'm going to use this as a garnish and because I love it. Chop that parsley up nice and small. We're making this recipe up as we go along. I like my parsley finely chopped. Mostly because my wife likes it that way and I'm tired of getting my ass ripped. Really, there is no recipe. We're making this up. So if there's parsley in it, it's because I said so. Get a few sprigs of thyme, and the trick to thyme is you want to go against the grain of the stem. Those leaves should pull right off, then we'll give these a fine chop. Our tomahawk has been sitting out for about 30 minutes. The salt has magically disappeared and left nothing but this moisture in its place, so we're going to dab that off. We want this piece of meat as dry as possible before we throw it into a hot cast iron to help us get the best sear possible. Here we have our cast iron over medium-high heat with avocado oil. We're going to let that pork chop get its sear on. Here comes the tricky part of the cook. That long tomahawk bone that's so nice to look at can be kind of tricky when you're getting a pan sear. Here, my wife had the idea to use our bacon press to ensure good pan contact. We formed a shatteringly crisp golden brown crust using this technique. Oh, shit. Hot damn, that's what I'm talking about. Our crust is locked in, so let's go ahead and give this guy a quick butter baste. He's starting to look like a bad dude. Oh, man. Our swine is sitting about 120 degrees internal. I'm going to go ahead and throw it in a 300-degree oven just to come up to about 135, 140. Please, please, please keep an eye on this. Do not overcook pork. Don't take it to 165. It would be a travesty. Now that that's settled and our pork is in the oven, we can start building this pan sauce. Go in with your shallots and mushrooms right here. Just let them soak up all those drippings from the pan. Once the moisture is cooked out of the mushrooms, you're going to go in with some fresh garlic. Do not burn the garlic. Saute until the garlic is translucent and fragrant. And at this point, we're going to deglaze. I'm going to use some bourbon I had laying around the house. You could stop right here and be pretty happy, but let's get weird and throw some spicy brown mustard in there. I think this pairs excellent with pork, and I hope you try this out as well. At this point, the pan is incredibly aromatic between the vinegary mustard and the oaky bourbon that we just deglazed with. Let's calm things down with a little homemade beef stock. Add just a splash of half and half to help add some richness to this sauce. You can also use heavy whipping cream, but I need to make it past 50. At this point, our tomahawk has hit 135. I'm going to take it out of the oven and let it rest. From here, we're going to let our sauce reduce until we can draw a spoon through it and leave a trail that doesn't form back immediately. Keep reducing that down, give it a stir, give it a quick taste, add some black pepper, try and get some more mustard in there, stir it up, and boom. It's the right consistency. Now, hit the sauce with fresh herbs, parsley and thyme for us. Give that a quick stir, taste it, let your buddy taste it, give it some lemon juice. It's starting to get a little too thick because we were talking, so I'm going to go in with a little beef broth just to get it to the right consistency. And after a 10-minute rest, we have reached a perfect internal temperature. Now, contemplate your carving technique, decide on a course of action, be assertive, cut down the bone. There you go. Don't mess this up. You only made one of these. Perfection. Flawless. Let's just take a moment and observe our perfect medium tomahawk pork chop being smothered in this bourbon mushroom pan sauce. First of all, this is beautiful. Let's just acknowledge that. Let's pull one of these center pieces out. I know I said I'd use a fork, but I'm not done yet. Oh man, I just went to another place, a much happier place. This lunch kicks your lunch's ass. Holy crap. It's the crust on here, phenomenal, first of all. It stands up to putting a kind of rich sauce on here. The sauce has layers. It's got the fond mixed in. It's got butter, richness. It's got some fresh herbs. It's got some pop from the lemon and the mustard. It all plays well and complements this pork. It has a depth that I commonly would associate with something you might get from like, barbecue or the grill. And I think that's the oak from for the bourbon we put in there. It tastes great. The pork is very juicy. It's tender. Great cut of meat. The fat is rendered and crisp. This is just a piece of fat. Don't judge me. Oh my goodness. Hey, try this out. Let me know what you think. This is a damn lunch right here. Pork chop special. Peeled and primed. There you go. On this while we're trying to get the film camera set up.